6 o'clock.
We can do it.
Lord, bless everybody in attendance tonight and all residents of our small community. We pray that this evening is successful and productive. Guide us in our discussions, give us wisdom concerning the issues we face as a city, and help us make the right decisions. Watch over Mayor Ben and bring him back to us safe and healthy. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens comment.
A mess.
Get out of the way.
Sorry about that.
It's all Steve's fault.
I'll take it.
Okay, Denny Powers.
Okay. I just wanted to make a comment since a couple of meetings ago, someone came in here and made some testimony about me personally, and I hadn't signed up to make a comment, so I wasn't able to respond. Dale Clark came in and talked about confronting me on Ashfield Street about dumping. He didn't say names, no. He didn't say a name, but he obviously said the guy came out of the sound gallery, he dumped a bucket of water, and you can't be telling me that it was a coincidence that he stopped me in the street. I've never spoken to the man in my life. I know who he is, but I've never spoken to him. You can't tell me it's a coincidence that he suddenly decided that he had to stop me on the street and be very critical about I was dumping a bucket of water in the street. And he told a whole story about that I don't disagree with any of it, except he said I filed assault charges against him. That's a very serious thing to say. Nothing of the sort happened. I never filed any charges. And he neglected to even mention what had happened that led up to that. And also when he was speaking, I don't think that timer was running, because he was up here for 15 whole minutes.
Well,
So I would like to
check
see
your
it.
video and see. 'Cause we're on that.
I do have it, and it's a lot more than 10 minutes. So I would appreciate if you would just, that thing's very annoying clicking like that.
Really?
This
Okay,
really
that's
has
fine,
nothing
but
to
I-
do
so
with
I have
us.
two- I have 2 more minutes.
If you have an issue with
I
Mr.
do.
Clark,
No, I have an issue
file
with you.
charges.
I have an issue with you personally.
Okay, well,
So
fill
I'm-
out
that's
a
why I'm
complaint
here.
form and do it.
No, I'm gonna, I brought this issue to Mayor Ben Smith. I called him and told him I had a problem with 2 properties in town that are owned by you, Susie Clark. You
Okay.
own 2 properties in town that I have an issue with, that they're violating codes.
And, okay, since we're on the issue, what about your building that I sent a form to you to
Yeah.
have it inspected with those parts
Why
falling
didn't you
down
ever
around
ask us
46?
about it? How come
Because
you
I
never
sent
asked
you a
us about it?
certified form like
Alright,
yours.
This is my
no,
turn.
no.
You
This
can't-
is not for
We don't
fighting.
This is not
Wait a
her,
minute.
This is not a place for
Oh.
personal, okay?
it's
This-
not personal. It's not. It's,
You're making
We're
it
just,
personal.
we're not gonna have it
What-
yelling.
all
I'm
right,
just
I'm
saying.
not yelling. I
Okay.
have my turn to 5
I'm telling
minutes.
her too, not
You
you.
all give me my 5 minutes.
You'll get your 5 minutes in a normal voice.
Okay, in normal voice.
Okay.
What I talked to Ben Smith about is I said there were 2 properties in town I was concerned about. They were violating our codes, the West Virginia Code and the Piedmont City Code. And one was for an unsafe fence that's along a sidewalk, which is right next to the pit stop. That fence has come loose from the wall. There's a huge gap in there. Nothing's been done about for weeks, a month. And when we have something go wrong with our building, we fix it. And when you were talking about that cornice, you realize we've been talking to restoration experts and engineers for over 2 years, but nobody ever asked us. You just went straight to sending us a letter. We're in this meeting every week, every time. You could ask us personally, what have you been doing about your building, rather than escalate it to a letter. Most communities would have an escalation process where you try to get a hold of the property owner first. And you've talked about that before with other property issues. And they're hard to get a hold of some of these property owners. We're not hard to get a hold of. We live right there. We come to the meeting every time. So you could have talked to us
But
directly.
we just went by code, by our ordinance. what
You
we're
didn't
supposed
cite
to do.
any code, you didn't cite any of that.
No, it's a
And
positive.
that you don't have training to be a
Right.
code enforcement
I never
officer.
said I was.
All right.
I know.
You're supposed to address the council, not one
Okay,
council.
all right. I guess, I don't know where that rule exists. You
The,
can show
the
me.
letter, the
We're
letter
not
is
here to fight.
notification. The letter
I'm
is
not here to fight, but I
notification.
feel like I was personally attacked and that I was threatened on the street for reporting a property that's out of code. Your property on East Fairview Street is a dump. We've been watching it pile up debris on there for 6 years. It's rodent habitat, snake habitat, it's building materials, all that dumped on a residential street. That's not legal according to West Virginia Code or Piedmont.
Well, you do what you have to do, and I'll do what I have to do.
But you're the one who writes the tickets for that.
Right, and it's
So
we're
that's
in
a
the
conflict of
process-
interest.
We're in the process of fixing that.
All right.
There is no wood, that is all dirt and rock.
And that's not allowed either. You're not allowed to dump debris.
We're making it level so that we can.
You're making it level to make, you're building a platform on top of a bunch of branches. So we can talk about the details of this, but I don't think it's a legal
Well,
dump.
you do
have a
what
dump
you
up
need to
there.
do. You fill out the complaint forms and we'll address it.
But you're the one who handles them.
Well, yeah, and I'll take care of it. You take care of your stuff, I'll take care of my stuff.
And when I fill out the complaint, about your property, you're the one who's gonna handle it.
Go to the state. Go over me, go to the
Okay,
state.
that's all I have. That's all I have. Thank you.
That's it. That's it.
Next. You asked me?
Okay.
No, we did.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the previous meeting as written.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, correspondence. We got one from Terry Lively, Pam's list, the project list, are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I'm supposed to fill it out.
Well, she's
Oh, okay. What this is here they update the project list, and what you need to do, yeah, it's attached. If you have anything on here that is on the project list, just kind of,
I think ours is all completed on there.
There's, I don't know if they're still on there or not, but there was one about restoration.
Of the sidewalks, I seen that.
Oh, did you see that?
There's, I think there's one on there that I'd like to pursue.
okay, if it's not on here, what you do is fill it out and send it in. And, I don't know whether it's,
This
yeah,
one was
you
actually.
can fax them back in. Yeah, just fax them back in, and you can have or several of them. Okay, and if there's any of them that's on here, what you can do is that you don't want on there anymore, you can just mark through it and say please delete, completed, or not or not seeking or whatever.
So remove or pursue.
Mhm. And the one with at the pool, you might want to, I gave that over to Angie, but you might want to include that in there.
Okay.
Yeah. The sidewalk.
Okay. Oh, did you give that to Angie?
Yeah, she was supposed to contact you, I don't know if she has or not.
Uh-uh.
We have been swamped, with different things, but I know she does have the pictures on her desk.
Okay.
Yeah, but, that might be something, to go ahead and put that on there, so
Okay.
that anything that you want, like, and include your phase 3 on here also, water, so that we can have that as an updated. Even though we have it,
Okay.
the PDR out on it.
Alright. Thanks. Okay, we had, I got an email from John Leckie reminding us that there is our chamber meeting April 4th at the Candlewick.
Oh, what's this? Did they change the
No,
date?
that's the same thing.
Oh, okay, so there's one on
This
this
is
one.
John Leckie.
John Leckie,
This is a
Chamber of
reminder of the
Commerce.
Chamber Task Force meeting next Wednesday at noon at Candlewick. He's gonna give Fred a call about how many's attending on Friday.
Okay, I'd like to go.
And then there's also a meeting tomorrow at the American Legion in Kaiser, Connect Your Business meeting. It's more or less a Chamber of Commerce thing, if anybody's interested in going to that. That's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the American Legion in Westernport on Main Street. I called and confirmed Rick, you and I going to the meeting next, the 5th.
Kennewick, you're not going, that's the Region 8.
Can I get in here?
Didn't even see you sneak in, huh?
April 5th at 11:30.
Except you stay with the
They
baby.
were confirmation.
And what was that one, the April 5th?
April 5th at 11:30 at Candlewood. And I got a letter, dear local government official, as a recipient of the Community Development Block Grant and Neighborhood Stabilization Program funds provided by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, your local government is required to affirmatively further fair housing. In April 2018 marks the 50th anniversary of the enactment of Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 Fair Housing Law. Fair housing law prohibits discrimination in the sale or rental of housing based upon race, color, religion, sex, religion, national origin, disability, or familial status. Governor Justice has proclaimed April 2018 as Fair Housing Month in West Virginia. The proclamation commemorates this anniversary and emphasizes the policy of the state of West Virginia to provide its citizens with equal opportunity and access to the housing. You are reminded of your responsibility to implement appropriate activities to promote fair housing during the month of April and on a continuing basis throughout the year. Enclosed is a list of examples and resources for your agency which may be helpful in promoting fair housing. If you need additional information, please contact April McComas, Housing Specialist. If they need us to make a declaration, we'll have to put that. Perfect.
I don't think we have to make a declaration,
It
we would
just-
just have to make sure that it's posted
The proclamation
and we all can.
okay. That April is Fair Housing Month. That's all mine. Anybody else have any correspondence? No? Okay, commissioners' reports. Vicki?
Do a quick run off of our account balances. General fund, $9,510.90. Water, $3,603.03. Sewer, $7,843.97. These are the available balances. Parks, $7,527.29. Pool, $6,813.65. 941, $588.36. Police fund, $4,739.51. Small city block grant is cleared out. Sewer repair, $12,609.34. Fire hydrant, $2,340.42. Committee to revive Piedmont, $50. Fairs and festivals, $6,246. Rainy day, $11.03. Social security deposits, $3,137.01. And the budget is done. And we're just waiting for approval from the state auditor. We will officially lay the levy on the 3rd Tuesday of April, which is a public meeting. Anyone can attend, and that will be on, let's see, so the 3rd is Tuesday, April 17th. We will officially lay the levy.
What day, April 17th?
April 17th, it's on a Tuesday, 3rd Tuesday in April.
What time?
Our meeting's gonna be at 1 o'clock.
I'll be at work. Yeah, I got an email today that she received the email,
That's great.
and
With no errors.
some errors. Okay, Dawn. I don't know. You got this for 2 months,
That's
starting
all.
with the first? Okay. Other than that, I don't know anything because I haven't been out. Rick?
Don't have anything going on right now, other than, we do have some people here, but I don't think that's right now. I think that's part of the new business coming down. And there was the water meter we spoke about last meeting. But other than that, that's Ernie?
The only thing I have is we had to take the plow truck over to the Chevrolet garage, new battery put on it. Had the glow pumps checked, they're okay. It's back running good. That's about the only equipment we had to have worked on so far.
Okay, I had my second fundraiser at the pool, for the pool. Had a roast beef dinner Sunday. I want to thank everybody that helped out. Susie, Dawn.
Oh, no, I was saying that.
Rick, thank Candy for making cakes. We took in $1,386 and $909 was profit. And I want to make it clear that everything I do for the pool is taken out of my fundraisers, and city money is not used for it. I was told that me and Susie going to the class shouldn't have happened because we use city money. That's why I have so many fundraisers, so it pays for all that. And I'm going to have one more in April. So that'll be my third fundraiser, plus I did the t-shirt, and I'll be bringing over $2,000, and that's what's paying for all our classes we're taking. And Ernie has agreed to go in May.
What time, what day?
I got that with me for you to sign. Here it is. May 16th and 17th. I gotta fax this paper to them, that you sign. And there's our agenda, so yours will be the same. And I'm trying to get stuff put together for the pool, and we were in here, and it'll have to go on the agenda for the next meeting. I'd like to raise, our prices has been low forever, and it was $1.50 and $2, and I'd like to raise it to $2 and $3. Students $2, and adults $3. Keep everything pretty much the same. You've got to raise the passes a little bit, but I'll bring it to the next meeting for a vote. I'll brought a sample copy of that up. If there's anything that needs to be changed or you think needs changed, let me know. I'll make another one for you.
That's okay, that's fine. I can check all of that. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, we're probably gonna have a lot of business with Kaiser coming up, and we don't want to underdo ourselves. And I know they were charging like $5 a person down there, so it's still way below what everybody else is charging, and it's still low enough that the kids around here should be able to afford it. We'll have that on the next agenda. And me and Ernie will be getting together to get stuff together at the pool when the weather breaks, if the weather ever breaks. If you ever see no tomorrow.
As soon as you open it, it's snow.
You plan on opening on the 27th again this year?
I would like to have it open Friday or Saturday. I'd like to push for like the 25th.
Alright, sounds good.
Which would kick off the Memorial Day weekend. That would give them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I mean, they're in school on Friday, aren't they? So Saturday, how about the 26th?
School's been extended till in June.
Well, we can do weekends up till then.
Right.
But for Memorial Day week, I'd like the kickoff to be Saturday the 26th.
Do you want me to put that on?
We'll start
Huh?
What date
We'll
you
start on that
tentatively?
pool
Yeah.
weekend. We'll start on that pool by the first of April.
If there's no problems,
Right down
then we
there.
drain it.
We'll get everything up and get it ready.
Robbie?
I don't know if I mentioned it the last thing or not. I'll tell you that the court order came through from the circuit judge. Was that reported last time? So the Cadillac and the gun and the money's all taken care of. And I went ahead and started writing down where I need when good weather hits the yellow lines extended and things for fire trucks and ambulances to can make some of the corners. And other than that, I've got a gentleman where I boarded up the Philistine building. The vandalism that the 3 youths from over in Westernport that I had problems with that I want to check with Paula too on banning from being at the pool. That way I'll give them a reason not to be back over here.
Yeah.
They did some vandalism on some vehicles, like thousands of dollars in damage. They actually
stole gasoline out of a building that they broke into and made a line from it and poured it on stuff and was going to set it on fire to try to burn the building. And they were in the Philistine building again somehow, so in order for them to search for one of the boys mentioned that they had stolen a gun. So in order for them to get in the Philistine building, I had made contact. I was sick that night, and I'd called in and told 911 that I'd put bolts through that plywood so that if we had to get in, we could unbolt it. Well, they busted it to pieces to get in to search. So Tom Hamilton's getting us a piece of plywood so that we can re-secure that front side of the building, or the Green Street side of the Philistine, in hopes that we can keep them from getting in it again. So other than that, everything else is pretty good.
It's
Hey Robbie, that silver car that's up there
Yeah.
on Charles Avenue, parked up above Jack's place, where you come around the turn off West Piedmont Street.
The one on the
Yeah, did you see it when you went past it? Are they supposed to be
Yeah.
parked there?
the little neon. Yeah, there's, if you notice the white car that's Ronnie Jackson's, that the gentleman over here at the end
Yeah,
of the
but
track.
it has,
There's a
doesn't
white-
it have a yellow line going down that one?
No, I don't believe so. If it is, it should only be a certain
Where
distance.
that car is, it's liable to get.
Like across from your driveway there where you,
Yeah, up
Yeah.
from that, yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty close to that turn there.
That's the gentleman, the guy that has the white hair and the,
No, that's not Jack. He parks down farther. He's over in front of his house.
oh, okay, well, I didn't see the other one up there. It wasn't
You
there
went
just
right
long
past
ago.
it.
It wasn't there just now. If it was, I mean, if it would have been illegal, I would have took care of it, but,
Yeah, someone's gonna hit it, and it's not gonna be that person that hits its fault.
okay, I'll check it.
And what about that car down in the post office lot with no tags on it?
That one is, yeah, it's going now. The engine was blown up.
Oh,
It was on West Harrison, I think Miller. His sister's Shalata.
okay.
Kite. It blew up
Gary.
and that's it, yeah. And it blew up and I checked on it a while back when it was all piled with snow. All before that I
A
had
couple
checked.
of days it had tags on it, then all of a sudden it didn't have tags
Well, he
on
took
it.
the tags off because he was afraid,
Some-
since he was going to have it towed, because he had to have an injury placed in it, that it would, that someone would steal the tags. I'm looking at an 18-wheeler. I don't know if it's just, I just see the tractor. I'm hoping it's just a tractor, it's not the trailer, just a tractor. So, but yeah, he's got it moved out of there. I talked to him about it, and he was okay with the post office and everybody else until we got it towed.
Oh, okay.
Your plywood's here.
It is where they
You put it in the 4 o'clock. Right there.
Anything else?
No, that should be it.
The unfinished business, the Neptune quote?
As requested, I got hold of C.I. Thornburg, and they've got 3 of their salespeople here to give you a little talk on their equipment. And as I said, their handheld does not need an annual service fee. And it's pretty good equipment, so I'll let them go ahead and give you all their spiel.
Yeah, you start, Steve.
I'll start. First, I'll introduce myself. My name's Steve G. I'm with the C.I. Thornburg Company over from the Bridgeport office. As of about 3 weeks ago, you are a customer of mine, and I will be making regular calls for you guys on regular sales calls. And we sell everything that has to do with water, sewer, any repair products you need, pipe, anything else. Tonight we're here to talk about our meter systems, electronic automatic meter readings, and lucky enough to have Rodney Atkins with us. He's our meter specialist, and also Bill Grimes, who is also a meter specialist, mostly in the software part of it. So I'm going to turn it over to Rod, let him do a quick demonstration, and any questions you all have, it's informal, just ask you anytime you want to. Okay? Thank you.
We appreciate y'all letting us come this evening, and as Steve said, I'm Rodney Atkins. I'm the engineering department of C.I. Thornburg County, so we're the automation folks. We do a variety of things engineering-wise, as far as metering infrastructure, and SCADA systems, controls, and that type stuff is the side of the world we're in. And Bill's our software expert in the metering industry. And we've been selling the Rockwell census line since 1991. So we're very proud of the relationship between us and Census, and we love to come and talk to people about water meters. And it sounds like a silly thing to be proud of, but we realize and really understand that every dime you take in water and wastewater is measured through our products. So we try to keep that in mind and make sure that you're serviced correctly, and we know the importance of getting correct meter readings and correct measurements and how important that is to the city. The current meter you're using is a Neptune meter. I'll never say anything bad about them. Now your maintenance crew may, and they may say about different brands. This is a PD meter, a positive displacement meter. It has a nutating disc in it. It's a mechanical device that requires energy to make it operate. The nutating disc is sitting in there, and water comes in and forces the disc to nutate. As it nutates, there's a shaft on the top of it that drives a magnet that runs a register. So it's a mechanical device, and physics tells me it takes X amount of energy to cause this thing to nutate one time. So I know what it takes to make this run. We also make a positive displacement, which is an oscillating piston. Again, it is a mechanical device, so there's energy involved, causing an oscillation in a piston in here that drives a magnet that runs that register. Both of these technologies were developed in the engineering phase of the steam engine. So it's been around a long, long time. They're both pretty good at measuring water down to a quarter gallon a minute, or 1 quart per minute. The new technology, this is an electromagnetic meter. It's based on Faraday's principle that says if I create a magnetic field and pass a conductor between that field, I can measure that. That's a measurable amount of induction of power if I create a magnetic field here. There is no moving part in that meter. So these meters are guaranteed to be new meter accuracy for 5 years. And then they give you a repaired meter accuracy for 10 years. This water meter is guaranteed to be accurate down to 3/100ths of a gallon for 20 years. So you're making a huge jump in the amount of measurement that you've got in this device. So you can imagine going from a quart of water down to less than a shot glass of water per minute in measurement. Now I will say you will get complaints when you put this in the ground at first, because people are going to complain that their water rates have gone up or their bill will go up, because it's measuring all those little drips and drops that we've not measured before. So I warn people about that, and it is a problem, because even though it's right for them to pay for it, they're not accustomed to it, and there's a learning process for this. Especially folks who like to crack their water on in the winter and let that run. Well, normally these type meters don't catch that low flow. This little rascal's going to catch that, so you're going to get paid for the product that goes through the meter setting. It's also a smart meter. So I'll pick on Steve a little bit. So if I put this in Steve's meter setter, and his wife comes home with a Walmart swimming pool, and he puts it up in his yard, and he's pretty clever. He's going to go out and turn this meter around and run it backwards. Well, when we read this thing, we're going to get an alarm. It's going to tell me that it had an empty pipe alarm when he pulled it. Then I'll be able to data log it and see how much water he ran through it backwards. And then it's going to tell me when he turned it back around. So not only is Mr. G going to pay for the water that he ran through the meter, he's going to pay a fine for tampering with a public utility. So now we have a set of eyes in our meter box for the first time ever. So it's a little bit more intelligent than what we've had in the past. Reverse flows or any other thing that you can imagine that would be important to the city will be incorporated in this product. We've also got a meter out that we call it the Ally, that's this meter's partner, that does a few other things that this one doesn't do. It has a remote shut-off in it. So that if you would go with our radio read system, you could shut the meter off without going to the residence necessarily to turn it on and off. So, and it's got other things, water profiling and temperature and all these other things that you would associate with the quality of your water can be used in our meter reading systems now. The meters, it's amazing to me, the new no lead bronze meters, the price of those are typically higher than the newer technology. And the reason why it is so expensive to make that new low lead or no lead, they call it, it's really got lead in it, but a very minimal amount to meet the new regulations, but it's very expensive to make. So everybody has looked at some kind of a composite material to get away from the lead in this. Now, I teach the class for the state. People ask me if I take a high lead meter out of the setter, do I have to throw it away? No, you don't. But you have to put it back in that exact same setter. If you repair it, you got to repair it and put it right back in that same setter. So the old,
Boy, this guy's got a clump that'll fracture his leg.
oh my.
And I gotta go get his baby. Yeah.
Well, we're sorry to hear that.
Oh. Me too.
So the tendency of utilities is to try to get away from the bronze type product because now it's expensive. And I'm not picking on California, but when you look at the periodic table, you'll find lead here. All we did is move over. I'm not a metallurgist, let me stretch my imagination. But if you move over one element, that's what they did to make bronze malleable again. So now California's doing a study on that. So if California deems that it's unsafe, guess what? That element's going to go away. So it always seems to happen in California for us and comes back over to this side of the United States. So we really think this is the future. It's a great product. It's been on the market a long time. It does a really, really good job for you. Our electronics is pretty smart. This is your existing product that you're using now. We can read it, just like you've been reading it with the equipment you've got. I can also read the newer technologies, whether it be this one or the iPearl meter. So you're going to be able to read the product you've got now and integrate new product seamlessly. So I think that's key. So we don't want to come in and say, you got to take every water meter you got out of the ground and then take off with a big meter change out. Well, to me, that's not a feasible
That
thing.
meter works with all our meters we have in town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're compatible with that meter. Even compatible to our new the radio read system. So if you have existing pro read in the field and you want to go census radio read, we're not going to tell you if these meters test good and they're good, I would not throw them away. We do make a radio that's compatible. Same radio, it's just a different hookup. As you see our radios, it's a touch couple connection. So now that's a radio read water meter. So it does the same technology as when you do it with a touch gun with the radio. Now with Neptune, we have to cut the wires and gel cap them and make a physical connection. That's the way Neptune operates. So, and I'm also always proud to tell people about this technology when you read these meters. A touch gun or a radio, naturally it's a magnetic coupling. It's an MRI like they do in the hospital, which was invented in Green Bank, West Virginia. So it's the first time it was ever done. Very, very proud of West Virginia here. So all of this smart stuff was developed by people from West Virginia. So it's quite a source of pride for me. Whose billing system do you all have?
Koozie.
Koozie. Okay, no problem whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
The handhelds, I'm talking about interfacing. The interface with Koozie is not a problem for us. It's probably been 18 years since I've run into a billing interface problem with anybody's handheld. This is the census handheld. All these things are phenomenal anymore. They've come a long ways. This one will hold up to 12,000 water meter readings. I don't think you'll ever need that. Naturally, because you load it every month. You go out and read your meters and come down and do the download. Mr. Grimes is our in-house software technician. He would be the guy that would build the interface between Koozie and the census software. So it's a local person. Steve's worked on our software before. It's a really simple piece of software. It's all ASCII text. There's no codes or secret swirl stuff, I call it, that's in the software. It's really simple. I can run it. If I can run it, about anybody can run it. So, and it also interfaces with other handhelds. This is Nomad Company. I always show this because it's a less expensive handheld. It does the same job. It's not a census product. It's a you can buy off the shelf type handheld. It does a really good job, and this is a surveying tool as well. So we show people that you can use a variety of product all with this same equipment so that you don't feel like Steve G sold me something, now I can't go somewhere else if I decide to change. Let's say some meter brand comes in here and they make something that's just awesome. Everything we do is ASCII text. We don't license anything. Anybody that wants to read our meters can. So we don't care. That's what we do. We make water meters. So if they want to read our meter, good for them. Good. We'll be glad to share our codes with them, and they can get right in there and read them. Now, we'll compete with them and try to get your other business, but fair market, it's just good for the city, you know? So, any questions on any of these products?
Well, you said it's magnetic. Is there any way to actually mess with the meters, like with magnets, or to disrupt them in any way?
No, we've done, it's really odd that the Public Service Commission engineers, we all met about the fact that it is a magnetic type meter. And we went out in the field and actually did some studies, not only in West Virginia but other states, and tried to interfere with this product magnetically. We really did not have any problems with any kind of outside magnet that we could get in the meter box to tamper with it. What I will say is, I have had shorts in houses where people have shorted out their electric service and are grounded to their water service, that we will get stray current needs. It hasn't destroyed them, but we'll know it. What you will also know, I don't know if you've ever done this, is pulled a brass meter when that's happened. What happens to you?
A little bit of a shock.
It'll absolutely bite you. It'll absolutely bite you. So if you get in one where someone's got an electrical problem in their house, you probably ought to tell them, you know, hey, this meter's got current on it. But what we do is we put a little copper strap around the meter body, and it's not just to protect the meter, it's to protect your personnel who goes to pull it. All of a sudden the meter was the ground, and now the employee becomes the ground, which is not a good idea. So that's bad. I've seen it so bad that the cup on this meter here, if you cut this open, the cup that sits in stainless steel, and if this is a bronze body, I've seen electrical current arc so much that it burns holes in the stainless steel cup. So I tell guys, when you feel that, you think you bumped your elbow or something, you get it the second time, you know it's current. I've seen as much as 110 volts on these meter settings. So that will cause you to have an alarm in this meter, but it doesn't seem to affect accuracy or anything. So, yeah.
Do they freeze up as easy as the other ones do?
You know what? We have this question with these new smart meters. They don't have frost protection in them. We tell everybody when you set these, make sure they're protected. This one actually has a freeze bottom on it. So you're giving up a lot of accuracy by using old technology, but you are giving up frost protection to go to the new stuff. And we've tried and tried and tried to come up with some way to frost protect this. And it'll happen in the future, but we're just not there yet. We have to have that tube to make the measurement with. So
What
there's
is
no
the
way.
difference in the cost between that one and this one?
This will be a little less money than your bronze meter. What's that meter run?
About 120,
Okay.
125.
What's a bronze meter that has the smart register on it?
About 120.
Same thing?
About $5 difference.
Okay, and what's this one cost?
90.
Okay, so this will be the
85,
least expensive of the two. Now, I will say that our registers, these don't have, the Neptune doesn't have data logging in it.
No.
Our registers will have, this one will have 120 days of data log, and the new electronic register for this one doesn't have it in it, but there's an electronic one, will have 120 days of data log. So if someone would come in and say, hey, I didn't use the water, you could take a device out and do a data log on that meter and come back and put it in Excel or wherever you need to and show them exactly when they used the water. And I've already been to Public Service Commission on hearings with data logs and say, look, not only did they have a leak, they fixed it at 2 o'clock last Saturday. So I can see the flow, and then you find out, and they'll say, well, it's a commode leak, and there's no way it could have leaked that much. Well, when you started the hearing, you didn't have a leak. Now we had a leak, we didn't think it was as bad as it was. So those are typical conversations we have with this newer technology.
Twice.
Ernie, I'm a little bit behind on this because I wasn't at the last meeting. Are you all considering replacing all meters and putting in
If
new?
I understood Ben right, if we go into phase 3,
Okay,
he wanted to replace all meters.
all meters, not put the caps on the old ones.
He wanted to replace all the meters, bring them up to date.
Okay.
There are some out there that are rather old.
Now, I'd like to elaborate on that a little bit. I'm an old water plant operator. I hate to admit this. This is my 40th year in the water industry. I've been 29 years with Thornburg. I highly recommend you don't put new registers on old measuring devices. I love this technology.
I work with a lot of towns, and that's what City of Petersburg did that.
Yes,
You went through, or did you help Petersburg?
They're actually FlexNet.
Yeah, okay,
So we put a tower up and we read their meters once an hour.
yeah.
Every water meter they've got, we read once an hour. So if you get a leak today, at least by tomorrow, I'm gonna be able to tell you, hey, you got a water leak. So
That's
that's
why
what.
my water bill was high last month.
Well,
No, my grandkids friend.
yeah, so they know immediately. If you ever get the chance to go in there and see Roxanne or those folks and talk to them about, they're phenomenal and they do a good job with it.
I was there today. I
Was it?
helped Frank set up the up system.
Oh, did you really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good folks. I really love them a lot. Now they went all iPearl, and they did the fixed base radio, which is the next option above the walk by or drive by. And like I said, they've got the whole package where. One of the funny stories, Bill and I was in there I guess it's been several months ago now, but not years ago. They were getting a meter reading, and they said, this meter's not in our meter system. I said, well, let me take a look at it. So I sat down, and the meter's reporting, and this radio gives you a GPS, where it's the location. So I copied the GPS, went to Google Earth, pasted it in there, and hit search, and it zooms down on some guy's driveway, and one of them in there said, I know who that is. We're supposed to send him a tap. I said, well, I'm going to think the tap's probably already set and the meter's in the ground. So they called, where's the work order? Well, we turned that in 4 or 5 days ago. Well, it's over the visor in the truck. So they were there using water and the City Hall didn't know it. So I reminded those guys, I said, I don't care what you do in the system. These things are going to tell what you did in the system. You can't drag your feet 5 or 6 days with paperwork. It needs to be turned in today. So, it's really a good watchdog to know what's going on. It's the first time ever we've had eyes out in our meter boxes. And I really like that. I like it a lot. And Bill's the kind of guy that does things like, if you got a dead end line and you put a master meter here, he can run you a report that tells you how much water you sold there and how much went through the master meter. So if you got FlexNet, that happens every day. So if you develop a leak in your main line, you're going to find it. So technology has really, really kicked up.
So basically, our thing was not to renew the Neptune. So if we make a motion tonight and pass not to do Neptune, we can get that reader and use it with our stuff now. To
Absolutely, yes.
And
Yes.
how much is the reader itself, just itself?
It
We
depends.
have
Now,
two different types.
yeah, if you go, here's the option. If you say, you know what, we're going to change out our meter reading system, we'll go back to Frank Rushnock, which is the census territory manager for this area, and I'll say, hey, they're going to change the water meters in the project. Can you help us out with the software and the handheld? He will. He'll say, yeah, if they're going to spec our equipment, absolutely. So we could go back to him and say, hey, there's a project coming up and we're willing to spec your product. He'll help you out. So, but if you bought this stuff off the shelf, you're the pricing guy.
No,
We'd have to look.
I'd have to look for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking around $3,400 for that.
But now, aren't they gonna have to have the computer and everything?
Software goes on your existing
That's
computer.
what that's for, yeah. Training and everything.
Because this will do touch read, manual read, and radio read.
Oh, I was thinking it was a lot more.
Yeah, so this device will do all three technologies. Matter of fact, if you would go all the way to FlexNet, you'd still need this, because this is what tells the radio to talk to the water meter and the latitude and longitude and sets all the parameters.
But right now, they
Parameters
don't
like-
need any tower or anything like that.
If you wanted a tower, yeah, we'd have to come in, and what we do then is I'll come in and sit down with someone and make a KMZ file of your water system on Google Earth, and then we take all your meter addresses and we will geocode them. Well, when I geocode them, what I'll do then is send it to one of the RF techs in Morrisville, North Carolina, and they'll run a propagation study. And this is a full 2-watt radio. They'll run a propagation study at 1 watt. And that'll tell me every address that I can read from that tower. So we come in and give you a written guarantee of what water meters we can read via the tower. We're the only company that gives you an upfront written guarantee of coverage. And if we miss it, we pay for it. So it's really a... And propagation, we run it in the worst possible scenario we can. Because I'll tell you, with radio technology, propagation, energy, it's a moving target. So Steve made Nancy really mad last night as she walks outside and takes a hammer and hits his windshield. That energy is going to propagate through that windshield in a particular pattern based on how hard she hit it and what the temperature was, and was the other windows open in the car, were they closed? So that energy is a moving target. He's got the windows closed this August, so he makes her mad. She goes out, and she is a violent woman, and hits that windshield.
What about my wife like that?
It may shatter from corner to corner with the same blow. So it's an energy thing. So we run the propagation study at a really bad scenario where it's the worst kind of weather possible and a weak radio, and then we guarantee you our coverage that way. Because we don't want to come back and build tires, for free. So it's pretty
Would
impressive.
there be any way that something like this could be included into our phase 3 work?
It was the 1800, wasn't it?
Is that what it was?
That's what a lot of people do.
Can you
in
guarantee me that I'll
projects.
have less than
What we
20
would do is
rereads
include it
because
in
it
the water
says that they've used
project.
over 9 million gallons?
If you pay for this up front, we would want to make sure that he got considered as a reimbursement back in the phase 3.
Okay.
That sounds like a rollover to me.
Oh, every month.
Rollovers?
Every month.
Yeah, we have to work with Kuzi on that. Let me tell you what happens is God, I'm telling my age now. Way back early on, when automation first hit the market, we had registers that they were called absolute encoder. So if you cut them open, each one of those odometer wheels used to have a strip of gold from 0 through 9. And then it had a set of 18 karat gold contacts for each one of those wheels. Well, gold's not the cheapest thing we've ever bought in our life, so we tried to make as few wheels read as possible and still give you a good reading. That's what drove these billing packages nuts, is because now we're kind of restricting you with rollovers. With these new electronic reads, you're not going to have rollovers till you get up in the millions of gallons. So we can tell, so you tell Kuzi, hey, that window's a lot wider, and when we get to that window, our software will tell them, this meter finally rolled over, it's got 100 million gallons on it. So Kuzi's going to throw out a red flag and, and let you know.
Now
So-
with this thing here, I know I'm not the city, but I'm of them out. Like I have one at my house, okay. Now there's that other square part that fits in the lid, okay, that, it goes into the lid.
That's correct.
Okay, now, the city would have to either buy the new lids or
Drill holes.
drill holes.
That's correct.
Yeah, they drill
Now
the
you
holes.
got touch read now, right?
Yeah.
This will go right, you take the touchpad out and put this, so the pad that you have now, as you can see, goes through your meter box lid. We'll
Do
take
you
these
have the
out,
holes in your meters now?
Yeah.
Some of them.
Okay,
and then you put those in.
that's good.
So there's no difference in the physical part of installing a touch read and radio as far as the lid's concerned.
Okay.
So
good.
this can go right through the lid. And by the way, these radios, when these radios were first made a long, long time ago, we tried to use etch Iclar to seal them, which is the same, you seal periscopes and things with Iclar. And it's very expensive, but some young engineer came in and went to work for Census and asked a very good question. Why are you spending all this money? Why don't you seal that radio up in water pipe? So that's high density polyethylene you make water pipe out of. Cut the cost of our radios significantly. And our radio price went way down, and so it started to become affordable. That's one of the smart young guys thinking outside the box said, hey, if it'll hold water in, it'll hold water out. So you can see, it's just water pipe. So you can put it in as much water as you want to put it in, and it's going to be waterproof. So
A little lighter.
I don't know that he's still working, but I am.
When's our deadline to go?
I was just gonna bring that email back up. I thought
Okay.
you all had a copy.
I thought we did too, but I don't remember. I thought it was
Arnie
July.
was sitting there laughing.
So that gives
We've
us
been together too
some
long.
time to put a
I've been
policy
through this.
together.
He could probably do this presentation by now.
Yeah, we've worked together too long on different projects.
Is that right? I love it. I love this technology. It's really, it gives your customers the kind of customer service that we really should give them.
Oh, no, not ours.
July
They're
15th.
gonna say my water bill went up 2
You
cents.
guys want to take a look at that? It's easier to see if you're on it. And the good thing, there is a sensor that goes on that just like it's on this. We just don't have the wire on it right now, but,
Yeah, and it's a replaceable wire.
yeah.
So if people start bringing that wire, that's a plug and play wire on both ends. I love that idea.
Well, the town has definitely got their money with tech support from Kuzi this year with me,
That's good.
because
So you're just
I,
throwing a,
the only thing is
I don't think this is working anymore.
the Neptune is just, that wand is not reading correctly, and like I said, I'm getting, every month, you know, Kuzi's having to show me, oh, 9 million gallons can't be for one person. I said, I know that. And they reread it, and then I have to re-enter it, and it's just doing it to too many.
You know, these things, we can set alarms in the field with these, even if it's a manual read. So I looked to read her meter, and her meter reading is 785. Well, I'm 60 years old. I opened that meter box, 985. You know, that's what it looks like to me. I punch it in, it's gonna alarm me and say, hey, that's outside the expected window, double check it later here.
I'll be a cheapskate.
So it'll give you a little bit smarter in the field. Now, the meter's even a little more smarter. Has a little more intelligence in it. What it'll do, because you got your high-low limit here, this has a real leak indicator in it. The leak indicator in this is programmable. What we typically tell it, if it moves any water at all for 24 straight hours, I want you to alarm me. So if they got a drip, and it goes on for 24 hours, when I read it, I'm gonna give you an alarm. And it'll actually put a little water drop on the display on that window and tell you the suspected leak. And then you can do the data logging and find out, yep, they never go to zero. It's a continuous usage situation. So now if you got FlexNet, you're gonna know that anyway. But even with the walk-by and the drive-by, we can give you the,
My vote is not to renew Kuzi.
you know, some of those alarms are still very, you know, useful to you in the field. That's why I encourage people, meter readers hate me for this. If you're out with a wand, carry your handheld with you. Because that's where your alarms and things come from. So.
Yeah, Paul, July 15th.
July 15th, and it's 1800.
I was looking under Neptune, but it came from him.
It's what, 18?
The bill to renew the Neptune is $1,830.
And that's the handheld for 450, the Bluetooth clip belt for 300, and then the Advantage 2 complete for 230.
And the software for 800.
And yeah, 850 for the software.
That would give us time to get the reader and the software to begin with. Okay. Could you, how many meters do you think we would need, Ernie? Like, probably 300, just to make everything?
I think right now we've got 320, 25 in the ground.
318 was the last count. I can give you an
I would
accurate
say-
count after this week.
I'd be on the safe side, I'd say 350.
That's a little.
That's-
I'm just saying, if we would vote, well, okay, we can't vote on that tonight, we can
No.
vote not to renew the Neptune. We could vote to take the reader and the software and then incorporate like 50 at a time
Right.
and replace, we could do that, couldn't we?
Yeah, so what we'll do is go to census and say they're gonna change 325 eventually, and they'll give you credit up front off on this stuff for buying the 350 like you bought about one time.
Oh.
They're really good about that.
Could you put a cost analysis
Yes.
together for us?
Yeah,
Mr. G can do that.
350?
Then we'll put that on the agenda for next
And
meeting.
Our heart is really in the smaller utilities. Now, we got some big, Fairmont's a big one. It's a big 15,000 endpoint. And we've got some bigger ones, but we thrive in the smaller utilities. And the reason why we do is because we have people here in West Virginia that we do offer service. So we're not flying somebody from out of Texas or somewhere to come do things. Even with our FlexNet. You're looking at our FlexNet team here too. So we go to census and go through the whole trainings and learn the RF stuff and learn all the meter classes. I even teach meter class now for the state because all those guys have.
Is it required that our guys, is it required for our guys to go through a meter training?
No, we'll come here and do the training, what you need to do for readings, but like meter certification classes and all that, we do all that now.
Okay.
And I'll also tell you, it don't matter, handheld, gun, I can call these guys, they'll send us a spare loaner, we send this back, they'll make sure when it comes back it's fixed properly. They not only take care of this stuff, our telemetry. They do telemetry work as well.
We just need accuracy and less headaches with our software.
Mhm. That's a biggie. I'll pick on my hometown. I was born, well, I was born out in the county, but Milton's where I went to high school. And we did a meter project for Milton, what, 2 years ago now? And we did a FlexNet job there. And when I did a survey, they had a different brand than our meters, some big meters, and they were good. They were still good. And I said, don't change those. That's a big high dollar meter. My boss is kind of looking at it and I said, well, that's a lot of money. And, if we can cut a corner here, that's fine. We can read with our radio. And I got to ask them questions, and this woman was on a nursing home. And I said, what's her bill running? They said, oh, about 25,000 gallons a month. What? This don't seem right. So I went back and looked at the reach, and that's what they were billing. Now, how they did not catch this, I don't know. It should have been 200,000 gallons a month. 250,000 gallons a month some months. It was a 1,000-gallon electronic read register, and they're billing them in hundreds. We calculated what it cost the city in water and wastewater services there over the lifetime of that product was $900,000. Dollars, not gallons, dollars. We take very serious what we do. I mean, really, we take this serious because Grafton, West Virginia, the hospital was the same thing for them. They were looking for water leaks. They were underbilling the hospital. So we know what this means to a utility. That kind of money in a small town over a period of 12 years is huge.
Yeah.
So we try to work with you as close as possible and make sure that, because I pay my water bill, and I want to pay what I use. I pay my electric bill. I want to pay, if I used it, I want to pay for it. So there's nothing wrong with billing people for the product they receive.
I might add one thing. My wife, I know you got Koozie here. My wife runs a PSD in Jane Lou, about 700 and some meters or whatever. She uses Koozie too. She has our touch read system. She doesn't have any trouble. She's never complained about Koozie or never had any problems with it. And I'll be more than happy to give you her phone number. And
Hey, I'm
maybe.
very good friends with a guy named David at Koozie now.
Okay.
Oh, I know Dave.
I have his extension.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm just.
When
she's been
things
using
come
it for
through,
years.
when they read the meters, I'm like, no, this ain't right.
Yeah. One of the most critical things is the resolution on the meters. That's what you have to make sure every meter is reading in the same resolution, because it'll mess up. You'll have 4 or 5 meters that are out of whack.
I'm learning this all the time.
There's dashes on that meter, and we can actually come in and reprogram that meter at any time. If for some reason you get a meter that's reading in 100 gallons instead of 10 gallons, we can come in and program that meter right in the ground and make sure the resolution's right. So every time Ernie can check every time they come in, because there's a dot over top of the digits that's going to read when he does it with a touch read. So
Yeah,
it's
smart
critical to make
meters,
sure.
it's the key. Parkersburg's a good example. They're converting from cubic feet to gallons. I read part of the town in gallons and part cubic feet. And we've kept it pretty straight. We've done pretty good, I mean, so, and that meter can do cubic feet, gallons. Well, you want to measure acre feet, imperial gallon, whatever you want to do. So, it gives you some options if you'd ever change. That is so neat watching those big eagles.
No, I've been sitting here watching the whole time.
If you go to Sandstone and get off the Hinton exit, go to Sandstone and start down into town. What's the name of that park with a little pull off or Broadmoor pull off? Anyway, you pull off. There's a stone wall there. When you pull off, there's an island in the river, the new river, and at the very end of that island, there's a sycamore tree. And there's a set of nesting eagles there right now. And
You
you
have
just,
eagles over
Yeah.
on this side over here.
yeah, that's amazing to
They
me.
are
That
beautiful.
I always plan a little extra trip when I'm around them so I can stop and get the binoculars and the cameras and things out and take a picture of them.
Son's
So.
got a couple eagles that were on the farm.
Was that right?
He's got chicken houses, those eagles have been over there for probably
So-
6-7 years.
Yeah, they like
To
chicken.
vote on
Yeah.
Koozie or
Uh-huh.
They like rabbits too.
And they like little dogs.
We can vote not.
Oh, well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
small enough to pick them up, yeah.
They found a dog collar in the one down in Hinton.
Aw.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, thank you guys very much for your
Thank you all. If you have any
presentation. Very
questions,
informative.
Yes.
Here's my business
We'll
card.
get a quote
Yeah.
for you
Just
for
call me.
All right.
the gun and this and all the software and everything to
Okay.
get you started, and then, do you need a quote from meters too to go out
Yes,
with, or?
yeah,
Okay.
we'd like to just go ahead and have it all.
So we'll put it all, we'll put all the quote out, and it'll be
Yeah.
itemized, it'll be lined
Yeah.
up.
That's
That's wonderful, thank you very much.
Thank you for the
Come on
time,
now.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're trying to get it on.
Feel free to-
but that's gonna be a while.
Feel free to call me if you have
I'll
any
be
questions.
nice.
That's not even mine. I was, who's
I'll
this?
be coming around about
This
every
is
month at
mine.
least, just
Okay,
to,
yeah.
just to bug you if nothing else, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
He
you.
want a free meter, Steve. Isn't that
If you
good?
make
Yeah,
my
yeah,
life
yeah.
easier,
Oh,
I will
no,
be
I'm
your
good.
friend
No, I'm
forever.
not gonna give you a good, I'll give you this one. I'll give you this one, how's that?
Okay, I'm
just-
I'm
You're just gonna shoot.
That's got the bottom one, so Steve, you're trying to rip him off here. That's got
That's
the
because I
top
tore it
one.
apart and then broke those things on there that holds it
under the
together,
impression
so.
that we do not
Alright, hand me the.
remove that,
Oh, you took that.
so that we pursue other forces.
Second.
He has another smaller
All in favor?
Aye.
Was that Steve's too?
Aye.
There you go. You come loaded for bear, didn't you?
And he was the one that got me on the plastic container. I saw that one time. I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting me a plastic container.
Way to go.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right.
See,
Ready, George? I'm ready.
Yes. Me and Susie passed our tests.
Take this meter, we'll take this meter, put it away with
And
us.
as I said earlier, Ernie will be going
Don't
May
take this meter.
16th.
Ernie.
So I'm hoping that when he gets his
Take this, put it in
certification,
here.
we'll have
You
him
don't
like
need that,
every
do you?
morning checking the level of pool, and then
I just got him
after
running stop
their
signs.
extra time.
You better just go ahead and shut him up.
Yeah. So it's nice having, it's gonna be nice having 3 people certified instead of just one.
Him to
You know what?
introduce
Someone brought you
us.
meter wrenches.
No,
I'll get those meter wrenches for you.
not you.
Oh, that's right.
He just
Appreciate it.
replaced.
Thank you.
Send me those so you can send me
But
I will.
like I said,
Okay,
Ernie
thanks.
is going because Joe didn't get to go to this class. And we didn't wanna lose our money that we spent for Joe. So I asked the guy, can we send somebody to the next class as a replacement? And he told me yes, all I had to do was send a fax with the name. And so that's Ernie's going to the next class. And he's actually gonna stay with his daughter, so we don't have to do a hotel. So, he's going.
Thanks, Chica.
Hey, it's just right down the street from her front door.
There you go.
So when the pool opens, we'll have to be certified to check the water.
No money spent.
No money spent. One more roast beef dinner to go. But like I said, we made $900
We did
Sunday.
good.
One of your helpers asked my husband to buy 10.
That's because that helper got a phone call. Not mentioning no names.
We sold 138 dinners.
Wow. And I ate on it for 2 days.
Our,
That is
like I said,
like-
our profit was $909. We took
That
in.
was good.
Still was
That is
good.
some good roast beef.
All right.
Girl, you're making me hungry.
I'm starving.
You probably haven't eaten for a week, have you? Oh, I thought Dawn said that. Who
No,
said
no,
that?
me
No,
either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we
I thought
both, see,
Dawn
Dawn and
said
I
that.
both had the flu.
Oh,
It is nasty.
where's the
Then I gave
Lysol?
it to my husband.
Where's the
Oh,
Lysol?
No, I'm over it.
No, as soon as you leave, we're gonna be Lysol on that table.
Oh my God.
Okay. New business, manual church adjustment.
Okay. Is this for 2 months?
That is for 1 month. See, and I'm looking at the history right now. Did I printed that out for you?
Yeah, both of them.
They've always been like 180, 140, 650, 810, 890, then 200, blah, blah, blah. And then in the last 2 months, the reading that was January 30th was 5,910, which they paid that,
Yeah.
but, and then the reading February 28th was 5,060.
They don't have a leak?
They say not.
Can
Pretty
we check?
Yeah, I can go
Before we-
up and. When
Looks like I
I
need
come
to
down off
adjust
the
it.
hill, I'll
Yeah,
check
we
it in
have
the
a
morning.
leak in it.
Well, and that's what I said. They said that they let the water run, but, and I told them, you know, from now on, when anything like this happens, I have a form that I made up there they have to come before you guys. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, if they
I'm just
need
not.
water running, they're gonna have to pay
Well,
for
and I
it.
don't know whether people are having leaks or not. I understood the estimated, and I fixed about 65 of them because of the way that it estimated
yeah.
them in December. And I didn't say anything about it, but from now on, that's it. I'm not doing it. I'm not listening to people yell at me.
Well, hopefully we get
Period,
this,
the end.
the software and
Well, and that would
everything
probably,
changed.
you know,
Eliminate that.
yeah.
Yes, and make it a little easier.
Because that Neptune software is probably really old anyway. But
So
it's
they
up
only
to
want
you
1
guys.
month adjusted, right?
It,
I'm not adjusting two, because if the first one they already paid,
they did
that's
pay it.
their mess up.
Yes, they paid $101.42. But now this one is only $96.60.
Yeah.
But it's still way up there in the 5,000 gallons.
But it's,
And they've never been, like
yeah,
I
if
said
it's 2
though,
months in a row, well, they have a leak, they should have dealt with it when they got the higher one.
well, see, and I did not know whether the end of January was because of the estimating. But no, you know, like I said, they've never gone, I mean, I'm looking way, last September, 890, 200, 420, 440, 410, and then it went up to 5,000.
Well, it sounds like they have a leak somewhere. You check that, Ernie?
Well,
And we'll table that
So
tonight.
then
we'll put that
somebody
on the
needs to figure that
agenda
out.
for next meeting.
And if they have a leak, sorry, but that's what it is.
And I guess we'll find out because the guy started reading meters again today. So if it's still that high, then
And they're out of luck, they,
it's either
should
that
check
or
into
it's
it.
their meter.
yeah.
Then we'll have to figure that out.
If it's a hidden leak, we can still give them an adjustment, but as long as they haven't had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they, like I said, they've always paid the minimum 58, 59.
Wouldn't you think they would have said something, they got one for 100?
Thank you.
I mean,
That's a lot of people. I mean, you know, I even got a nasty
well,
letter the
after
other
they
day.
paid it, don't expect to really get it back.
Well, and that's why I made up that sheet, because I'm not doing this anymore because they're waiting 2 and 3 months and
Yeah,
they're coming at
and
me.
that's not our responsibility if you're gonna wait 2 or 3 months, you know? You have a problem, speak your piece.
Don't
Get
yell
a
at me and I'll
desired
be nice
tone.
to you.
And,
Like I've told several people. But if you're nasty to me, I ain't gonna help you.
and we try to go out after we read meters, she'll give us a list for rereads, and we'll go out and tell the guys, watch the meter for a little bit, make sure it's not spinning.
Well, and that's the ones that are extremely high. Like the 9 million gallon or the 12 mil or 12,000
double?
gallon. Huh?
If mine doubled, you can guarantee I'll be down here.
Well, you're on the penalty list.
I know, I couldn't, I was gonna come down Monday.
You were sick. This
Monday I
ain't
was
like her.
very ill.
This is not like her.
No, because Dawn always made sure even the pit stop was paid.
I was, I laid in bed for 4 days.
Progress report and draw for the sewer repair project. Yeah, all kinds of things.
Well, the first thing is the final draw for the water project. And this is to get the reimbursement for the fencing supplies. And I get, Arnie, did you put the fence up yet?
No,
Oh, stop.
The weather hasn't permitted.
It's at 1,928.07 is for the fencing. And then, Region 8's admin, of course, we've been holding the last 2 invoices, but on small cities projects, we have to wait for the last 10% of our admin until we, do the FBR, final FBR. And, so it was 9,033.72 is total of that. So the total of the request is 10,961.79. So, and there's all kinds of goodies for you to sign. I don't know whether you want to sign it right now. Okay. I do have a resolution that goes with that one, and then another resolution that will go in, and it's going. Did it to cover any of these papers and anything that goes pertaining to the Pearl Street project for next month and all that. say, or given permission for you to sign as acting mayor. And it's just like a resolution, and I'll send it in with any of the draws and paperwork, so. Okay.
And I did change acting mayor pair, Paula Boggs up at the top of the agenda now. I forgot, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to pay $10,961.79 for the, is that the final phase 2 water project?
mm-hmm.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed?
That's that part of it. The next thing is, I've got 3 copies if you don't want to kind of go through it.
Is this separate? That's not-
There's 2 different resolutions. That's for the
That's for the
draw,
money.
and this is for Paula to sign anything pertaining to the water project or the sewer project.
Just giving her permission then, is that, I don't know,
Or
I
it-
don't know what you're.
Well, whenever, because,
I'm signing for Ben.
for,
But do we have to do another
Motion.
motion?
maybe you should.
Okay, that's under our, that's, okay, it's on the agenda, because we covered it.
And what's that one for?
For me to sign in place of Ben since I'm,
Oh, I'll make a motion that Paula Boggs, as acting mayor, is authorized to sign for Benjamin Smith.
and she signed the resolution.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, this is on all small cities block grant projects. We have to do a final performance report. And I do have Ben's name typed in here, but Paula can sign her name on it. It basically, what I have to do is go back, take things out of the original application, plug in financial information, bother Carrie and Phil all week about information.
Do I have to sign that twice as a recorder? On the recorder too?
Are you the recorder?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, you're important.
She's got many hats.
They're getting tight.
So, basically on the cover sheet, it tells, the project, when it was awarded and the amount and the dates, the award dates and everything. On the second sheet, it, breaks down the different, amounts that were paid out of each line item and everything. And the $10,961 that you're approving tonight. The next one is the status of the audit, related to this project. The 14-15 audit was done. The 15-16 was done. There was findings, but it had to do with segregation of duties and all that within the office. I wrote, the city has hired new office staff is currently working to correct findings. Here some areas have already been resolved. Some of the segregations was like, I think budget preparation, maybe you do the budget preparation now. Or Paula does, before I think maybe the office staff did or something. So, you know, that's like, there are findings that have been taken care of. Yeah. You, on last year's, you all got it out, acknowledgement or something that they're gonna, what was that, Ballasmore?
Lester Hart,
Yeah.
sheriff.
Yeah, so you got a pending approval of the audit proposal is out. The next page is grant accomplishments. Got 3 pages that I typed up on each thing here. What we proposed to do, what we actually did, and the impact of it for the town. You can read it all if you want to. The next is, we had 876 direct beneficiaries in the town. I had to go back to the U.S. Census, your amount of people that are in this city. There's 876, 675 are the low to moderate or below. And then have to figure out of the $700,000, how much of each of that money, it was 77% went toward the low to moderate income. So that kind of goes. And then you have to break it down to black, white, non-Hispanic, you know, all that.
Phil, is this the information that we needed for that census? It was supposed to have been due back in December? Do you know?
Some Mineral County guy come in here and said he does a census for all of the all the cities in Mineral County. We signed a paper stating that he was going to go, you know, he and his crew door to door and get the census done. We did not have to do anything.
Oh, that's good, okay. Housing assistance, you didn't have any new constructions with this. Housing opportunity, the fair housing, that thing, you know, that, you know, you put your signs up, you read the resolution and all that stuff. You know, I'm not gonna go over through all this your stuff. It's too boring for you. Relocation and real property, you didn't, buy any property or anything, or land for this project. If you did, that's a lot of work. You didn't, that in a means no land or anything. Final wage compliance, there was 2 different cases where whenever I did wage interviews where two individuals weren't getting paid correct wages. So I had to report that. And
For city employees?
No.
This was on the
one was
project.
on CT mechanical and one was welding.
Okay.
So,
Will they do prevailing wage?
yeah. And so I took care of that. The total of it was almost $655. So those 2 employees got, well, one of them was only $4.02, the other one was $650 they got. So, I have to report that.
Okay.
So, that's what I've been looking on.
Alrighty, should we sign these too?
Yeah. So there's,
Get cramps.
there's only 2 on each one of those.
Okay, well, let's not hold up the meeting with that.
No.
Anybody have anything else?
Next week, the development office is coming into the office, our office, and doing a financial monitoring of this project, the Piedmont project. I have asked Bill and them to get some information. I think, did they pass that on to you?
Is that what you were showing me yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Yes,
you
they
can
can.
work on getting that for me as much as possible.
That's more or less what you were just sitting here talking about, wasn't it?
That is like, segregation of duties and all that,
Pam, can I just say one thing? Since I've been here, I have not noticed any account numbers on any.
Okay, what that is, okay, you don't have account numbers.
Well, they basically had non-existing accounting anyway.
No, yeah, and that, you can just send an email to me and say, we do not have any, like, accounting numbers. Like, some towns have, like, say, they will put like, I'm trying to think.
Can you show her that printout that I gave you?
That, you know, like for your,
The profit and loss per class?
like your water account, you might go under it and put like, expenses, 500, and then like, 50, or.
I understand accounting numbers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, but if you look at that,
This is the.
see, the way I set it up was by class.
Okay.
So one's pool, one is water, one's sewer, one's general, one's parks.
Let's do it with this.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. That's how, because, you know, I had no
You just don't
idea what
have
I was
my
doing
numbers.
in July when I got here.
You don't have a number.
And there was no numbers, there was no accounting in QuickBooks whatsoever.
If you can just print me one of these?
Yes.
Or send it to me?
I
That'll
can,
work.
alright,
Yeah, that'll work.
I
okay.
make a motion that we accept the final progress report and draw for the sewer repair project from Pam from Region 8.
But anyway,
Sorry, I mean.
they may be, they'll be there here Tuesday and Wednesday in the office, going through all of my files and stuff. They might need a little bit more. I'll, hopefully Carrie and Jill can get things, and
They're more organized than this office has been in a long time.
yeah, and, but I think we have most of the stuff, other than that, individual things, but your all's accounting and, segregation of duties and stuff like that.
If they need me to do numbers, that's not a problem, I've done them before, but I'm just saying, I never started them in here
I
because
honestly,
QuickBooks was not used at all.
and I've already explained that to Jeremy,
Okay.
Yeah, all
what all
in
this
favor?
happened.
All in favor to
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's bad. No, it's not.
Yeah. I've explained to Jeremy a little bit what has happened over the last couple of years, and
I would like to see that project list though, see what's still on there, so we can update it. See.
We all got one.
I don't have the project list.
Huh?
That was yours.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Uh-huh.
All in favor?
Aye.